Okay, for today's assignment, we're totally switching gears to something new. I want to do a quick review I've talked about before, and then I'll do two examples from your homework to help save time, especially with a 2-hour delay. First of all, first 9 weeks, we dealt with one equation, one variable, where you typically get one answer. One equation, one variable, one answer. Remember, sometimes there's no solution in all real numbers. Second 9 weeks, we typically dealt with two variables, one equation. Anytime there's two variables, one equation, typically x and y, there's pairs of answers. There's an infinite number of pairs of answers, and they form a line. Okay? And these are called linear equations. Okay, that's what we've been dealing with since the beginning of second 9 weeks and the last 2 or 3 weeks. Okay, now we're switching gears to what's called a system of equations. That is two variables, two equations. Two variables, two equations. We're trying to find if there's any common answers. Your thought process is this: there's millions of answers to the first equation. There's millions of answers to the second equation. But do they share any common answers? There's 4 ways to do these. Today we're going to do the graphing method. There's also substitution, adding and subtracting, and multiplying with adding and subtracting. Okay? So let's go to today's problem number 1. We're going to graph. This is actually number 1 from today's homework. Okay, so you can do it along with me. We're going to graph all the answers to this. The slope is 5. The y-intercept is 1. So we graph it. Crosses y at 1. Up 5 over 1, or down 5 over 1. That's every answer to the first problem. Graph the second one. There's a slope of 1, a y-intercept of -3. So crosses at -3 and has a slope of +1. Okay. That is every answer to the second equation. Okay. If the black line is every answer to the first equation, and the red line is every answer to the second equation, then this point right here is an answer to both. That's what we're looking for. And that answer is x equals -1, y equals -4, or you could write it like that. Okay. That is the ordered pair -1, -4. Okay. You can either write it separate, or you can write it as an ordered pair. Okay. Now to check it, basically if I plug in a -1 there and a -4 there, it should be an answer. That's -5 plus 1 is -4. But it should also be an answer to this one. If I plug in a -1 for x, subtract 3, I get -4 for y. -1, -4 is an answer to both problems. Number 2, graph the first one. Crosses at 1 and has a slope of 1. That line represents every answer to the first problem. Graph the second one. Crosses at -3, y-intercept, and a slope of -1. Slope of -1 goes that direction. So that point right there is an answer to both. And that is the ordered pair -2, -1. X is -2, y is -1 right there. Or list it like that. Okay?